What's occurring? Brought to you by ROUVY. How's life, mate?
Good, mate. Good. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've had Algarve, which was decent, which was weird as well. And then I went back up to Alpe d'Huez, mate, for a few days. Just skiing again.
Oh,
yeah, love it, mate.
Get
it's
into
great.
it.
But anyway, Algarve. It was your boy Sexus was pretty good. Is that how you say his name? Sexas.
Yeah, Sexus.
But yeah, our boys. It was we had three GC guys there, two new guys, Oscar and Kevin, and then Timon was in there as well. So it was just a good race for them to start racing together. You know, feel what it's like to race together. And it was good though because it was they spoke really well. And you know, sometimes it can be you know, Kevin, his English is really good, actually. It's a lot better than he thinks it is. It's improved a lot. But, you know, second language, new team, he could be a bit maybe slow to give a bit of input. Or
Did he go on English lessons then? Or
I'm not sure, he must have, because it was okay in December, but it's a lot better now. And he just needs a bit of confidence now that it's actually, you know, he understands a lot. So
I've seen a few of his interviews, though. He speaks well.
Yeah. So from that side, it's good. And then they spoke well afterwards about what they think they could have done better and how they could race better as a team and whatever. So, successful week. And then obviously with Pipo winning it's always nice to get a win. And but one thing I said to him was like, look, it's so easy for like people in the outside just be like, oh yeah, it's Algarve, it's a TT, Pipo's there, it's going to be Pipo, you know, and just like almost take it for granted. But there's so much hard work that goes in from him, coaching side, staff wise, whatever. But so that was really nice to see. Because soon it stops, doesn't it, mate? Soon you stop winning.
But also, mate, that's the hardest position to be in.
Yeah.
Where if you win, everyone goes, well, so you should. And if you don't win,
what's wrong?
Then everyone throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
He hasn't got it, he's passed it, whatever, or any reason. But I'd say that's the hardest position to be in. When everyone expects you to win.
Yeah, for sure. So, no, a successful week. It was kind of just weird. Like, it was my first stage race, obviously. Not racing. So, you know, we woke up in the morning, you get the daily plan through, or the night before even, and I'm just like, oh, this is weird. I don't have that, like, little bit of, like, nervous, like, sort of like, oh, here we go, racing tomorrow. That was a bit weird. But I also surprised myself how much I, like, got into it, though. Like, I knew I'd care, but yeah, I was like, get fully like frustrated for the guys sometimes, or like, oh man, like, because obviously this last stage, did you see it with Oscar? So close on it. I was like, mate, just close the door on him next time, or at least
dog eat dog.
Hey,
dog eat dog, innit?
Yeah. So I can.
But mate, you did call me that one day as well, didn't you? When you were
forgot
last
about
minute had to follow. Was it Bob in the TT?
Bob Jungles, yeah. So. The night before, or Stannard, I can't remember, but they were like, oh, do you mind following Bob in the TT? I was like, yeah, no worries. It's like, yeah, you know, just they'll put a bike on the roof and whatever, and yeah, just follow him. Yeah, happy days.
You had a mechanic?
No, just me alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, it gets to about half an hour before Bob's warming up. It's like, oh, Bob wants a radio. He's going full gas. So just, you know, get on VeloViewer, take one of the notes, and off you go type thing. I was like, what? And I was like, couldn't even get into VeloViewer. It took me 10 minutes to get into VeloViewer. Finally got onto it. And I was like, looking all like Neezy had his notes, and it was in English, but it looked like it was in blooming gobbledygook. I was just like, what is all this? It doesn't make any sense at all to me. So used Stannards in the end. But yeah, so I drove to the start, didn't I? It was about 2 minutes before Bob was ringing, was riding. So I rang you. I was like, all right, but what do you do in a TT then when you're following on your own on the radio? Oh, and it was carnage.
Do you remember the one piece of advice?
Ale.
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's one piece of advice. Just shout ale. But it's like the only way you can really balls this up is to forget about the deviation. You can't really do a lot wrong. But if you, like a couple hundred meters before the finish line, the car goes one way and the rider goes another way.
Yeah.
And if you're proper in the zone, you just follow in the rider, miss the deviation, you'll be in the shit.
Yeah. The thing was, though, the second corner, the notes were wrong. It said skis. So I was like, 200 meters, right turn in the skis, comes to it, and I'm like, this isn't in the skis. But I didn't want to like say no, Baz, or I was just like, it's Bob. He's been around a while. He'll sort it out.
And did he come off the skis?
He came off the skis, and he got around it. And I was thinking, like second corner, and I'm thinking that's not a good start. Whatever I say now, he's gonna have doubts for the next 5 minutes.
But also, if he went around that corner in the skis and crashed, it's your fault.
Yeah, but no, it wouldn't be Stannard's fault, mate, because it was his notes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But no, but it was good though, because then I was like, right, okay, that corner's gone now. Reset, come on. And I was like looking, and I was like, there were so many corners that it felt like it was always something to say, like bumps and this, that, and the other.
What? How did you find it in the race in the car? Was there hectic moments, or was it quite a straightforward day?
So I went in with Neasy on the first day, which was a super straightforward day. It was a bit boring, but apparently you're not allowed to say boring because that's when it goes Pete Tong.
Yeah.
But then the last day there was a lot more happening, obviously, because it was like the mountaintop finish and whatever, and that was good. Enjoyed that, but then obviously watching it and then seeing Oscar get so close and whatever. But we had Kevin up the road, and like to be fair to them, they really took it on. Like we were like, right, let's just race aggressively in the right way, not just attack for the sake of attacking. But so that was good. And then, but yeah, like I think it's different as well when you're in the passenger seat because you can't really see you can't see the mirrors, can you? And then next thing you know, this bike rider just like flies past you, like, whoa, where the hell did he come from? Type thing, you know? But at least Neasy can kind of see him coming. But
you see bike riders coming up the right hand side, though, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's just like all over the shop.
Just like so dangerous.
Yeah.
If you drive in and anything goes wrong, you're just hacking right. Right is safe.
Yeah.
You're like going to get out of the way, and you see bike riders going up the right hand side of the convoy all the time, and it's like you're just risking your life, boys.
It was good to see, but I think if the classics or something is just another level again, in it, like night and day compared to Algarve.
Don't forget, we're working with ROUVY this winter to keep the legs turning.
Head to Ruvie and use the code WATTS for an additional 30-day free trial when you sign up for the first time. The code is valid for single monthly subscriptions for new subscribers only.
ROUVY is on a mission to bring the indoors to the outdoors, letting you ride real routes from around the world, all from your own home.
And it's not just riding. Ruvie can help you hit your cycling goals with a huge workout gallery and structured training plans, including plans from World Tour teams Lidl Trek and Visma Lisa Bike.
Plus, our What's Occurring group rides are live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. UK time, so you can train, ride and suffer together.
Start now and get ready for the next outdoor season with Ruvie. Use the code WATTS for an extra month free when you subscribe for the first time.
Moving on to opening weekend, Omloop and Kuurne. I had the most, I could have written a book about that one day. It was just mental in the car. We had Stefan Biziger crash 3 times. We had Ollie Narsson crash. We had Rasmus Pedersen crash. We had punctures. We were stopped on the side of the road dressing guys because it was cold. I was hanging out the window doing rider radios. It was just absolute madness. You speak about days in the car, and I was passenger seat, so I wasn't driving, I was on the radio, mate. It was opening weekend in general. Like I said when I first did the job as a DS, what's the one thing in a DS meeting, no, only on the course, they say what's one thing you're scared of or afraid of or have doubts about, and I was like, I'm not scared or afraid, but the one thing I'm going to hate is just seeing the crashes and seeing guys down. Mate, there was so many crashes, and then we passed Swifty, Ben Swift. He was down, I could just see he was in pain. You're like, you poor bastard. Just seeing your mate down and in pain. Mate, it was horrible.
You could tell he was hurt, couldn't you, as well? I saw it on the telly and I was just when you just see the way he's couldn't really get up and he was on the floor and he's just he's done something there.
Oh, mate, he was when I passed, he was on all fours, just his face grimacing. I was like, he's a tough bugger, isn't he? If he's like that.
Yeah, I spoke to him actually, and he's in good spirits, as you can imagine, a Swifty, innit? He's always looking forward and positive and that. But he was saying there was something about 11 bike riders in that one hospital he was in after Omloop, And he said, like, there's obviously other hospitals as well that people went to. This is including the women as well, but 2 bike races. And like, yeah, must have been, well, minimum 11 in hospital. But there was other hospitals people went to as well, which is just like, it's mad, isn't it? And then he said Kuurne, then there was like more people turning up the next day. Like, phew.
Mate, I called him yesterday as well when I was coming home from Kuurne just to see how he was. He said he's the hospital bed next to him is Stefan Kung.
Oh, he did
with his broken leg.
Yeah,
mate. There was the crash towards the Muur. We had 2 guys in it, Ollie Narsson and Rasmus. Like they were back on the bike quite quick, and then there's just like people everywhere, just like trying to help them. Like whoever it is, it's horrible. It's horrible. But anyway, the race itself, mate. You guys, so opening weekend consists of Omloop at Nieuwsblad on the Saturday and Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne on the Sunday. Omloop is World Tour. Kuurne is not, but it's basically exactly the same peloton. There was 18 World Tour teams, all of them in Omloop, and there was 17, only excluding Ineos in Kuurne. So it's the first big weekend of the Classics. Why didn't you guys ride Kuurne?
I think when they decided that, we didn't have a sprinter and they just didn't, I don't really know, wasn't part of that discussion, but I assume that's the reason. Because it's generally a sprint, Kuurne. So that I think that was just a call.
No, mate, it was just one of them days where it was really cold. Like it was 9 degrees, but like real feel was 0 degrees with 35k an hour wind, a lot of time crosswind. And it's like you look back at the race and what's crazy is it's like what split the race, what made the race. 35k an hour wind, the wind didn't split the race. All the climbs and hills and cobble sections, that didn't split the race. What did? Crashes. And it's just crazy. You just have to be, however far forward you are, it seems like you're still behind. And it's that also causes the crashes. But you know, like you're about to go on, the most decisive moment in the race. Okay, it probably would have split anyway because the best guys were moving. But you know, we went into Molenberg, and Rick Plumer's Tudor second wheel crashes. Van der Poel, how he stays on his bike, I don't know. Probably the only rider in the peloton who would stay on his bike. A few sneak through, and that's the decisive moment, and everyone else is on the back foot from there. But I think the writing was on the wall. Even if crash or no crash, only one guy was winning that bike race.
Yeah. Just about Ineos for a sec. Like what could go wrong went wrong for them. Like Magnus crashed, didn't he? Sam Watson crashed. Obviously Swifty we spoke about. I think Kwiato got held up with the Magnus one as well, and so Big Ben was alone coming into this run-in for Molenberg, which is kind of like the key moment for the race, right? And yeah, it just seemed like a big old lead out into it, didn't it? So if you're on your own there, it's pretty tough to stay in position for those 5Ks into that and do it all by yourself and then have the legs to actually go on the climb. So shout out for him to just hanging in there, you know? He seemed to be going all right. But yeah, this Molenberg, when Van der Poel went, it kind of had a bit of a inevitability about it, didn't it? But like,
yeah, maybe it was a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, like I didn't watch it like, you know, every minute of it, but I was quite surprised. I might be wrong now. Correct me if I am wrong, but Florian Vermeersch seemed to ride a lot with Van der Poel, like more than I thought you would.
Mate, he's also had a lot of flack because of this.
Oh, was he?
So, yeah, a bit, yeah, because 3 guys go. Van Dijk.
Well, that hurt though, didn't it? Him getting across there.
I saw that. Last year of his life there.
Fair play to him.
And Van der Poel, they catch the break, and then I think there was 7 left in front there, or 6. So the 3 attackers and 3 from the break. But like at the same time, if you're Florian Vermeersch, you don't ride, you come back, and then you're up against other people. At that point, probably he knows he's going to get dropped on Muur or Bosberg. And he's racing for second, he's accepting second. But
yeah, I'm not saying
what do you do?
Ride.
Do you go back and it's a difficult one?
Yeah, but he ended up 3rd anyway, didn't he? I think he just like
second.
Oh, was he 2nd?
No, 3rd. Van Dijk was 2nd. Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, I just think do a little bit less. Just do a little bit less. Like you say, he probably was racing for 2nd then.
But you know what? What's interesting though is, so Van Dijk didn't ride, but they've got Jordi Moose behind, who finished 7th in the race, 2nd in the bunch sprint. UAE, they haven't got a sprinter behind. So probably 2nd is the best. If it comes back together behind and it does go to a sprint, they're not getting better than 2nd. So Red Bull kind of risked it a bit and said, if it comes back, we got Jordi Moose. And UAE were kind of like, if it comes back, we haven't got a sprinter. Milano wasn't in the race at that point. If it comes back together, we're not going to get 2nd. So made the best of what they had.
Yeah. There's more than one way to skin a cat in there, but I just think just spend a little bit less is what I'm saying. Instead of doing 50-50 with him, do 25-75, 70-30.
I agree.
Because then he probably would have got 2nd, because he was the stronger of the two, wasn't he? He would have saved that little bit for the end, and he would have had Wellens behind and stuff. But yeah, like you say, in the sprint they wouldn't have got anywhere. But
when you go, you're right. When you go away with Van der Poel and you've got these two big climbs ahead, you know what's going to happen. And probably Van der Poel, even if he just had a few turns, he'd probably accept just a few turns and he'd still ride hard knowing how strong he is. Like, he arrived at the finish, he had another 50k of racing in him at that tempo. He just looked completely in control.
You think that mentality is kind of similar through the peloton? Do you think people, if they were with Van der Poel or Pog, they're just like, well, I'm just going to ride with him and just get 2nd? It's a shame that, isn't it? It's also realistic in most circumstances, but yeah.
I mean, if one of our guys was there, I wouldn't have said ride, because we had Tobias Lund behind. But if we didn't have Tobias Lund in the race, you have to ride. And you are accepting unless there's a group behind of 30 guys and you got 5 there. But if you're in a normal situation and the group behind is, 1 or 2 guys in 30 and you're off the front with Van der Poel in a small group, you got to ride. Take the podium.
Yeah. But when he did go up that Muur, he went, didn't he?
I haven't had a chance yet to have a look at the Strava times to see how fast he actually went up there. But he looked $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the top he had 24 seconds. It took 24 seconds on him. Something like that. 20 seconds. But it's just instantly game over.
Yeah. Yeah, that was impressive. Yeah.
But what was annoying for us is we were chasing behind them 6 guys. And in my mind I was thinking, right, the 3 guys from the breakaway, they're going to get dropped on Muur. It's too far out. We're going to catch them. And then there's going to be the 2 guys behind. If we fully commit after the Muur and then after the Bosberg, I think we can catch the 2. So I think we can race for 2nd. We're not catching Van der Poel. So we were riding with Stander Wolf. And then the idea was to use the other 2 after the Muur and after the Bosberg. And they both crashed. And if you look at it, it did actually come relatively close to coming back together there. And then we'd have been racing for 2nd. They still stayed away by 30 seconds, but to have 2 more guys like that, I think it might have been close.
Yeah. So,
but what I'll always say with the classics, there's always so many ifs and so many buts. If it's, you can just say, if this happened, we would have done that. But in the classics, you go on every single bus and speak to any team, and they said, if this didn't happen, we'd have done that. Which it's easy in hindsight, isn't it?
Everyone's got their own stories of the day, haven't they? Yeah. But I tell you who surprised me, actually, who's back in the game. Laporte. He had a weekend and a half, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. 4th in Omloop. And then the winning lead out in Kuurne. And ripping it up in the crosswinds.
Yeah. It's good to see, because he was he was sick or something, right, last year, or this, what's it called, this?
Yeah, he was out for most of the year. But I mean, when a guy's like that, he's got so much class, but when a guy is out for a whole season through illness, even if he's on another team, a rival team, it's still nice to see a guy bounce back. You don't want to see a guy out like that. So credit to him. It's time for another Visit Wales topic, where over the next few weeks we'll be debating our favourite things about Wales and Welsh cycling. And today is most beautiful scenic ride. What you got in mind, mate?
Oh, or you can start, because I tend to start and take all your options away a lot of the time.
All right. I have thought about this. And, north of Cardiff, just in the outskirts where I live. Growing up, I always... there was this... It's called the 50-minute circuit. And it just went out the back into the lanes. All just the little lanes between
Big
Cardiff
Dipper.
and
You go down the Big Dipper.
Big Dipper. At the top, there's Mindcloyd. Just all around the little lanes, Rudry, Caerphilly. And it was the 50-minute circuit because it took 50 minutes. And then, when you turn pro, you doing it in half an hour. But it was just like this whatever it is, 15k loop. And but you can ride in them lanes in such a small little area, if you look at it in actual area. And just wiggle in and out of the lanes, not see a car, might see the odd horse, stop at the Mindcloyd, have a coffee or a beer or whatever, depends what time of year it is. And it is absolutely stunning. And if I ever was to go for a bike ride, I haven't ridden my bike for a long, long time, but if I was to go for a bike ride tomorrow, that's exactly where I'd go.
Yeah. Home is where the heart is, isn't it, really? Yeah. I think, I rode out to Bluestone once. Have you been to Bluestone out in West Wales?
Might be going this weekend. It's funny you mentioned that. Never been before.
Yeah.
Might go
That's
Friday.
good. Yeah, it's good for kids and stuff. There's plenty for them to do. And I just did a ride around there once. I did some sort of event there as well, actually. But anyway, like Bluestone, it's next to Oakwood. Oakwood's, is it closed down?
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, that's a shame. But anyway, it's out that way. And I don't really know the roads, but it was just it was really nice, long climbs, gradual climbs, twisty, really quiet out there. That was really good. We've mentioned it on a few of these other ones, but Abereiron as well. You got the coast road,
aren't you?
Yeah. Well, we've just been there a few times and I've ridden around there and it's just it's just nice, And up north as well, one place I want to ride. Have you ever been to Anglesey?
No.
Yeah, I've never been either.
You say you rode to Bluestone. I rode to Tenby once. So it would have been a lot of the similar roads because they're quite close to each other, aren't they? And
yeah.
I reckon I went on, it must have been some of the similar roads and it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
It is.
A lot of you're on quite a lot of plateaus, quite high. You're never too far away. You can see the sea. Yeah, it is beautiful.
I did ride from South Wales to North Wales once for charity with Sana Tandem. You remember?
Oh yeah.
We did it I think it was 2011, straight after for charity. Yeah, but it was beautiful. But after Brecon, I kind of didn't appreciate it as much as what I should. But wherever you go in Wales, mate, you're always going to have a nice ride.
You know what they say? Wales never fails. On
Exactly.
that bombshell. See you later.
Right then, sports fans, how many of you use a VPN?
Well, if you do, or you need one, we've got a special offer from NordVPN.
There's a whole list of reasons why a VPN can be critical, from accessing your favourite content, like cycling while abroad, to protecting household devices to ensure you can safely access the internet.
NordVPN makes it effortless to do all of that and more. We connect to NordVPN with one click, change our virtual location easily. This means we never have to worry about missing a race.
Now we're not riding the Tour de France anymore. NordVPN makes sure we can watch it wherever we are. We can also secure our internet connection on public Wi-Fi in airports, hotels, cafes, anywhere we go.
So if you want to try NordVPN for yourself, go to nordvpn.com/what's occurring. And our link will give you an extra 4 months for free on a 2-year plan. It's the best discount available and equivalent to the price of a cup of coffee per month.
Plus, there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.
So that's nordvpn.com/what's occurring. We've also left a link in the podcast description if you need it. Mentioned it then, but on to Kuurne then. It was, Brennan, mate, he absolutely smoked them, didn't he?
Mate, we always knew this guy was legit, but that win is huge. I was in Brennan last year, and that was the first, one of the first cobble races he really took on. And he won that, and he just looked in complete control. And I was like, oh, this guy's legit. And now he's, he can win what he wants. yeah, he can do what he wants.
What happened with the other sprinters then? Did they just, Milan, Groenewegen, De Lee, like Magny had a mechanical, I think, but what? How come they weren't there? Like just bad luck along the way, or what? Or
no. You hit the 3 like halfway through the race. You start to hit the climbs, and it's always Kuurne is always a race in a balance of breakaway or a small group, or whether the sprinters come back. And I think they, if you look at the weather forecast, I don't think they were ever going to come back. The last, 60k was flat, but 50k of it was crosswind. They got dropped on the climb. I think the Saint Laurent, the 3rd climb, and they never looked like coming back.
Okay.
And mate, this race is probably the most frustrating I've ever been at, because I'll call a spade, and if we're good, we're good, and if we're shit, we're shit. But I reckon I can sit here and say that the decathlon lads were the best team in the race. Honestly, the way they rode, like they did exactly as we said. Just in every move on the climbs, and then we said we just have to like stay in the race during the climbs, survive the climbs, and everyone's going to be, we go in, try and follow the moves, but we don't commit to anything crazy. And our race kind of starts at kilometer 144, which seemed crazy to like after all these climbs, but just like stay in the race, and then we whack it in the crosswinds, and it just went to perfection. Like, often you like have a plan, and it never goes to plan. Never. There's always something that goes wrong. Well, actually, there was. Rasmus Pedersen crashed twice, but apart from him, all good. And it was just going so well. Like, they're always in the front with numbers. And then until 5k to go, and I've watched that last 5k back a few times already. I mean, it's Monday morning, but yeah, just got too hesitant, sat back a bit, and just never came back. And Tobias didn't really have a chance to sprint. And
that's frustrating, isn't it?
Like, mate, it's so frustrating.
That. Yeah.
They were class, them lads, honestly. And it's very, you go, next race or whatever, next year. But some days the stars just align. It's a perfect race. They execute, and it's like it was there for the taking. Well, I'm not saying he's going to win. I think he could have. I think he could have won, but just completely blocked. Box couldn't even sprint. Him and his lead out man, Case Ball, 7th and 8th. It's like, oh fuck. Yeah. But the guys were amazing.
It's the same with Jordi Musso, isn't it? And Philipsen, like they just seem to. Well, they just weren't in the right place, were they? Either. Yeah. I mean, it's that last left-hander, and it's just like not coming back from that.
Yeah, I think Philipsen had a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Like, he was so strong, but then he had a bike change. He had 2 bike changes in the final. He only had 1 teammate in the final group of 60 guys.
Wow.
To help him come back. I think he took the race on. He showed how strong he was. Like, he was moving on Kreuzberg himself, actively going.
Yeah.
Incredibly strong, but just I think he just lacked a few teammates, and like you said with Turner coming into Molenbeek, to move in that peloton and get yourself in position and then perform from there is super difficult. So Philipsen impressed me, man. He was strong.
Because the day before he had bad luck as well, didn't he? He was stopping and changing and all sorts.
Yeah. He, mate, I think he was like 90%. If you split the 2 races, he was like 80% Kuurne, 20% Omloop. With Van der Poel there, I think it was like a bit of a team decision. Do what you can. If Mathieu's got the race covered, just chill out. And he stopped on top of Leiberg last time with like 40k to go.
Oh, did he? Okay.
About 40k to go. So, mate, but he was super impressive. But another casualty of Kuurne was Tim Wellens.
Yeah.
He broke his collarbone. So you also have to think the knock-on effect for San Remo. You got Poggi and you got the key guys to kind of light it up on Cipressa Poggio. He's now lost Navarez. He's now lost Wellens. I mean, they're pretty stacked. They'll be all right. I'm not getting my violin out, but 2 key guys there.
Yeah, they've got some depth, but Yeah, no, it is. Those two are probably were first on the list, weren't they, really, for Pog?
They were the last two guys to go last year. Yeah, Wellens and then Navarez did the last one. So he's lost his last two Poggio, Suppressor, lead-up men.
Like you say, yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about that for him.
No, they got plenty more where that come from.
But no, just like, I think just in general, hope everyone that's like decked it and has been to hospital and whatever, quick recovery, because it's never nice to see, is it? Even if you don't see it, if you just read about it, it's just like, yeah. Because you know all the work everyone puts in, and you know all those, you know, months in the winter, grafting away, getting into good shape, and then boom. But yeah, it's bike racing, isn't it?
Mate, I got on the bus after Omloop and I had like these nice bling white trainers on. They're like covered in mud. For the amount of times I had to get out the car, I had like gel and bid on like 40, all the mix covered in my trousers. I looked at my hands, I had blood on my hands. And I was like, I've just been sitting in a car. Because Stefan, third crash, was like, mate, you're done. Don't get back on. You don't want a fourth, do you? And he was like, yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
like,
man.
put my arm around him and like, you push people. And I was like, I'm an absolute mess. Like, I've sat in a car and I'm covered in blood. Covered in mud, jumping out the car, punctures, crashes. Oh,
Classics for you, mate.
mental.
What about these 2 1-days in France? Did you see any of that? Obviously, your boy Sexas won the first one, didn't he? Ardèche, Ardèche, I think it's called. I just need to bring that up because that was just insane. He rode the whole peloton off his wheel, mate. Even like guys like Jorgensen and, you know, good guys. There's no peloton this week anymore, but mate, that was like chapeau.
Mate, I mean, he's legit. And also, in the meeting before the race, that's what he said he was going to do. And it's like, right, yo. And also, if you look at the guys he rode off his wheel, yeah, they're legit. If you look at second or the top 10, Jan Christiansen, Lenny Martinez, Mathieu, Jorgensen, Skelmos, Picanzoli, Bernal, Cepeda.
Proper boys,
you know,
there's
legit guys, yeah. And he said it's what he wanted to do, and he did it. Like the final guy to drop was Jorgensen, and as Jorgensen drops, he's having a swig of his bottle. This guy's just, he's special, mate. Fuck me, he's special.
Yeah.
And he is super professional. Lovely bloke, like just down to earth. He's still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like a jolly kid riding his bike, and I love it. Like doesn't think about the consequences, just goes and races, freedom, like aggressive in the way he races, just wants to win everything, smash everyone. He's a special guy.
Yeah, fair play. He didn't do the next day though, did he? Drone.
No.
Let the other boys have a bit of a chance. Like,
God preserve him. No, we had Paul Lapierre, leader for that, and he was fifth.
Yeah. I think our what do you call him? Dodo,
sixth.
Yeah, which was decent ride from him because Provence was good, but I think he's definitely made that next step there. But just unfortunate, like, yeah, the boys rode early on, I think, so lost a bit of men earlier, and then just that chase. Then it was so close to coming back. Did you see?
Yeah,
they knew they had a gap, so they just started playing a little, didn't they? And then you're just like, wow, this is coming down quick.
Was it Jorgensen and Martinez?
Gregoire.
Roman Gregoire, yeah, sorry.
But yeah, just as they were about to catch him, that's when Gregoire started the sprint then, and he obviously won. Jorgensen stayed for second, and then the group behind. But that was quite a nice finish to watch, actually.
Mate, what about Jorgensen, no classics then? What do you make of that?
I'm not too surprised. I guess he's going to the Tour. So maybe he's starting to, similar to myself, like he's started to fully focus GC now.
Oh, GC.
Yeah, you get older and you need to just specialise really. And I guess his heart is in the GC sort of side of things. So it makes sense. I think especially with Jonas going to the Giro, or that was the plan. It might have changed, I don't know. But I think from his side, maybe he's thinking, similar to me, when Ruvie did the Giro, I ended up winning the Tour. So maybe Jonas is just thinking, not Jonas, Jorgensen's just thinking, I'll I want to give this a good crack, go to Dauphiné, just want to have a full-on GC year. Maybe he's not thinking that anyway, but that's what I assume in here. So,
I mean, I think he has said he wants to see how far he can go in GC and learn about his body. I think I remember reading an interview where he said, he thinks 1 week stage races he can perform and win, but he thinks a Grand Tour is too much. But I mean, I understand it's not a bad point in his career. Just signed a new long contract to go, right, I'll miss the classics for a year and see how far I can go with that. I think he'll go pretty far. But just him in the classics, like he's class. Like you think, he's not like, maybe not like the stereotypical classics guy. He's a bit like more climber-ish, but he's always in the right position. He moves in the right times. He's aggressive, and is, with Visma losing, Tish, Olav, Dylan, Attali Valter, some key guys in the classics. I thought he'd be there and racing them, but yeah, it's interesting. Good luck to the kid. I like him.
I think like the bad thing here, though, not the bad thing, but is Pog doesn't do any favors, like, because you see Pog winning classics and doing Strada and this, that, and the other, and then going and performing as he does in Grand Tours. But I think that's not normal. I think, if anyone wants to really commit and get the most out of like their career and do so, for Jonas, for instance, if it is GC that he wants to improve in, then you just got to go 100% for it, And so good luck to him. I think that's what you got to do. I think it's just like the margins for Evan now are so small. Like, even take Pog out of it and Jonas out of it, that group now that can do 7 watts a kilo, there's 2 or 3 guys getting added to that list every year now. When you think about those, you got Ayuso, Almeida, there's a few in our team, yours, Sexas. I think there's like every team has someone on the cusp of being in that group now, you know what I mean? So I think, if Jonas I keep saying Jonas, Jorgensen wants to win some weak races, there's no guarantees, I think, commit fully, and then there's no regrets, is there? So fair play to him.
Yeah, mate, you look at any start list, any race you go to, it's stacked.
Yeah.
Like, it's like every team has, the level is scary high. And any win you can get, any podium you can get is huge. Whatever level of race, these wins don't come easy. And the strength and depth in the peloton now is pretty impressive.
It is, mate, but it's good time to stop, isn't it, really? Retire.
Mate, we got out at the right time. I'd have got the shit kicked out of me if I was still a pro.
But to be fair, though, if you're 25, I don't think you would. You'd still be like, it's just different now. You just know more, and you train differently, and you eat a bit different, and Mate,
I was there with Heino Hausler, and he was like, fuck, I'd love to race today. He's still super fit. He's the exact same weight as he was a pro, like veins popping out of his legs. He's like, I'd love to race, it'd be great. And I was like, mate, couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
I am over my time racing as a pro.
Yeah, it's true. I'm kind of similar. Like 19 years is definitely enough. Like, I miss being physically in top shape and then racing and being in the race, but I definitely don't miss the process of getting into that shape. And I know, like, I just won't be able to do that anymore as well. Like, I've just got to that age, I guess, where there comes a time where you just can't keep doing that year in, year out and improving all the time. There comes a point where you hit that limit and you're just downhill, mate. Can't even run now without getting tight hip flexors and bloody, I'm a right state.
No, man, I agree. Like, I love the sport. Like, love my new job. Yes, got back 1:00 last night. This morning, looking at Paris-Nice, just checking everything over, and I love it. I love the little details going through everything. But in terms of racing myself, especially opening weekend, which I always loved as a rider, after seeing that in the car, wow, crash. Are we okay? Are we okay? Yep, right, go, bam. 5k later, crash, back. Boys, are we okay? Yeah. Next one. No, bike. Oh, fuck. It's just like, get out of that. Get me out of that jungle.
Well, on that note, mate, get me out of this podcast.
Get me out of this podcast, right? Done. Over and out.
What's next?
See you later, mate. Have a good one.
I'll see you there, mate.
Yeah, Paris.
If we're in the same...
You in the car?
I doubt it. I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah, you need two DSs in the car.
Yeah. If we're in the same hotel though, mate, I'll well, yeah, we'll do a cheeky pod. Maybe we'll see what's going on.
Sound. Do you know if we're in the same hotel? I'll have a look.
No idea. I haven't seen him.
All right, I'll have a gander. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
You were there the whole race?
Yeah, I might have to go to Tirreno halfway through and come back, but yeah.
Okay. All right, sound. All right. See you on the road then, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah. Ciao for now.
All right. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.